the main roster.
Oh, we're doing this.
We're doing this. Let's do this.
I think Kai should introduce it because you don't get to introduce them very often.
That's
I,
all right.
I always go, hello.
I don't want to introduce shit. Am I doing it? I'm fine. I'm alright doing it.
Go for it, mate.
Go for it.
Go for it.
Go for it. Hello and welcome to Figure 4 Radio. This is a Figure 4 Radio podcast available on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Podomatic. With me, of course, the killer car brand is the Mastermind, Ollie Spring.
Hello, still
And
comatose.
You still comatose.
Still comatose.
2 weeks
from last
now,
week.
mate. 2 weeks. 2 or 3 weeks.
That's how epic those 2 days were.
And newly available to talk to you via Facebook and that because I added you. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, I'm an editor.
It's yeah.
I'm an editor.
An editor of... Oh, Figure 4.
Figure 4.
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, thank you very much.
Welcome to the team.
Right, thank you.
Another handshake for a podcast.
Scott Star Spud.
Thank you
Always
very
good.
much.
So we decided we're going to do a quiz with Scott, which basically was a joke, and I got screwed jobbed out of winning. And then we thought we'd just, roll the mics and shoot the
It
shit.
must be tough
honest.
because that's the first time you've lost a quiz in over a year.
It is. I'm a sore loser. Sorry to Ollie and Kaylee that I smashed up their flat and was not happy. I mean, the hinges off the door are still creaky. And
Let's be fair.
And
You
what
can't
you
really
did-
tell, can you?
And what you did with that chocolate egg was unspeakable.
it's probably more suitable in a rat lab than it is.
And
in
you're going to wash that
kitchen.
beer bottle before you drink out of it, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I always when Scott gives me beer, I always very careful. I always point it at Alice because half the time they do explode on you, and I find it hilarious.
It's alright. It happens to most guys at some point.
Yeah. Anyway, shooting the shit. So you were mentioning something about this WWE shake-up.
Yeah, there's a shake-up happening which is supposed to be after Summerslam, we think, at this point.
So what? They're sending people who they think should really go back and relearn some shit.
Well,
What's going on?
what they're doing is they're going to say that they're going to mix up Raw and SmackDown again, but this time they're also going to include NXT in the shake-up,
Oh,
which
fuck.
means that some people can go from the main roster to NXT. So I'm kind of wondering, is this a good idea? Is this a little bit too soon? Because we've only just had the other one, and I think if it's too often, it's not going to be as special.
Exactly. So
But what would happen if a main roster guy got put in NXT? Now, I think we've got to be smart. I don't think any major stars gonna.
I
go
can't see
to
AJ
NXT.
Styles going down.
Can't see a John Cena doing it. I mean, John Cena's popped up on one show, and I think the Big Show's done the same. But I can't see him doing it regularly.
No, but imagine if like Shinsuke and AJ went back down to NXT, just because I always find that NXT have that grittier kind of feel, and AJ and Shinsuke could do what they used to do in New Japan, whereas I haven't really been seeing a lot from Shinsuke
Ooh.
in the style that he's done.
See, I don't
Since
think they'll do
moving
that
over.
because I'm pretty certain they're trying to put them together for WrestleMania.
Yeah,
Because they hinted that Money at the Bank, didn't they? Where they
I
just
saw
moved the ladder to one side, and then Shinsuke and AJ had that
Yeah.
match, and you kind of,
Kick the-
ooh, just teasing it a little bit.
I'm wondering if they're going to start turning NXT into that third brand like
Yeah.
ECW used to be. So if they do move a whole load of people down to make it that third brand, like to actually make it a proper third brand, I think that would kill NXT dead.
I do a little bit. I think you've got to be careful with who you do because it's not going to be developmental anymore, is
That's it. Well, it kind of isn't anymore.
It isn't,
Well, in fact,
but
actually, me and Kaylee were talking about this on the way to breakfast this morning, and I was talking to Bull James and Bram about this on Friday
dropping
as
those
well.
names again, isn't he?
Well, I was talking to I can't keep calling Tom and James because who the fuck are Tom and James?
don't know.
They're cartoon characters, aren't they? Cat and
Jerry,
Mouse.
Tom and Jerry, mate.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and just talking about just only how NXT works and how if they think it works better now or in the old days when it was run more old school. I heard some very interesting stories about the way it used to be run.
Any you can share?
Probably not,
Did they involve, what was the...
Mr. DeMott.
Yes.
Potentially. I can neither.
Are they libelous?
I can neither confirm nor deny this. He says, nodding his head furiously. Yeah, I think if I really hope it's more of a case that they'll call people up. But the thing is, the last Superstar Shake-Up was shit, right? It was just you tune in and then just see who turns up. I want to see another, because they used to do the roster thing every time, didn't they? Like,
Yeah.
And there'd be the podium and there'd be names coming up on screens of who's going where. That's what they need to do, not just another episode. It's like when you make the Slammies just a part of Raw. Kills it dead. Just give it, do a network special and give us a proper little like NFL
Ceremony.
style, an NFL style draft.
But do you think they can put people down to NXT? I mean, what's going to happen if you get? I think that it's not going to hurt Dolph Ziggler to be in NXT because I think he needs freshening up a little bit. I think he's been stale for about 4 years.
But like you say, you can't send people like that down to NXT without. Because come on, like you look at the people that you've got on NXT. You've always had on there. You know, you're sending superstars down to. You're basically throwing a shark into a puddle.
But it worked. It worked with Zack Ryder. He's brought up Mojo Rawley.
But Zack Ryder was off telly for a very long time. He wasn't as over as he potentially could have been.
I don't know. He was pretty over before he went down there.
Before he was written off telly for
internet champion
forever.
Yeah, but
so he kind of went down there to recuperate, I think, in a way. And how many people do you think they could do that with, really, realistically, that would go down there and not just completely dwarf everybody by just walking in?
Well, I mean, if I'm on, like, for example, Dolph Ziggler, I know he's doing much, but if I was in the main roster, I wasn't really getting a push, I was just there, jobbing, I would probably want to go back down to NXT, get myself repackaged, and say,
Kurt Hawkins.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's just lost his 100th match. In a row.
In a row.
Is that actually his gimmick, though? I think
that's his gimmick, though.
See, but that's fine, because that works, as long as they're doing something with it. That's what I'm thinking.
He's the Brooklyn Brawler of our era.
Yeah, but they're owning up to it, and he's not just another guy. So if it becomes that, they can build a story around him, and he's got some attention. There's a reason to watch him.
Then?
This is one thing. The people I
there?
think send Enzo back down, send Bo Dallas back down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, Bo Dallas has started doing something now with the Miz.
Come on. He was dressed up in a fucking mascot
Guns N'
thing.
Roses
Yeah,
thing,
like no, that isn't. No, send him back down. Just the people that were that feel like NXT level and that they're just not being.
That's it.
Like, send Aiden English back down. Although he got a win on the pre-show, I was
know.
shocked.
How the hell did he beat
Absolutely,
Dillinger?
because you look at that on paper and you think, oh come on, it's just
See, but I think what they need to do is if they're going to bring people up to the main roster, and let's face it, with Ty Dillinger, it was the fans that brought him up to the main roster because that whole. Coming in the Royal Rumble, when he was being thrown out, the whole audience was going no, and they've brought him up, but they're not doing anything.
They've just forgotten about him.
Yeah, they need to bring him up for a reason and not just for the name value.
I mean, you can maybe do with sending some of the cruiserweights down potentially as well.
Do you think 205 is a failure?
Just get that off.
I think it's only a failure if they let it. If they treat it seriously and book it properly, like the Cruiserweight Classic was booked.
We see the Cruiserweight Classic was supposed to lead into this, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, it did. But then
who do you realistically see beating Neville?
True, but then again, this is what I'm saying. So imagine the Cruiserweight division is NXT and Neville coming down from Raw. He's just dwarfed everybody immediately.
I just think they
I agree with you.
might need to get somewhere. Imagine if, like, okay, they got Neville and no one's going to beat him. What if Ricochet then walked through that door? Or Will Ospreay walked through that door?
I think there's rumours that Ricochet the negotiations have started. Yeah. I think at time of recording.
I would personally like to see Ricochet down in NXT and work his way up to the main roster, but I think he would again chuck
straight into the cruiserweights.
Straight into the cruiserweights. He would kill that.
I think he's too big for the cruiserweights.
As in, size or reputation?
No, I mean, if you look at Finn Balor, technically he could go into the cruiserweight division because he's under 205, isn't he?
Is he?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Because this was the argument that some of these people who they're saying are heavyweights could be in 205, but they're not.
I think it's all about perception, isn't it? Because they're not perceived as.
I think
Finn
Ricochet
Balor isn't perceived as a small guy.
I think Ricochet would be perceived as a bigger guy. I think he is anyway.
I don't think he could come in and not just look at the way he moves. I just don't. Yeah. I don't know.
But he could, with the moves he does, he could believably take on a heavyweight. Isn't that why Austin Aries left? Because he wanted to be in the heavyweight category as well, and they said no, he
wanted to be a main guy.
But this is the thing. Yeah, this is the thing. I think Austin Aries.
He was the only person they had who could legitimately beat Neville, whereas I don't think anybody else can. Yeah. Without cheating.
I was thinking about this the other day actually, because I was talking to a few guys about Rey Mysterio. And
who's rumoured to be negotiating with them and GFW at the moment.
Okay. Mm-hmm. But Rey Mysterio was a tiny guy that was going up, and he won he was facing the Undertaker and people like that, and Kane and Carly, and he was perceived as the champ. And I can't think of too many people that they could put up against people like that are small, because it's all about the booking, really.
Yeah.
And
let's
I
face
think
it,
Austin Aries could have played that tiny guy who could legitimately beat the big guys, and they never did it. Like, it worked in Impact.
I mean, he's not so much of a cruiserweight, I don't think, but could you argue of Daniel Bryan, because he was a smaller guy going up against these huge guys, or do you think it's because of that perception of him, like you say, as Finn Balor?
It is perception, I think. He was never I mean, but because they kept calling him a B+ player,
yeah,
it makes, whenever the more a heel says something, the less you believe it. The more you believe it's the opposite, I think.
That's true, but then I think also what you've got to kind of consider with Daniel Bryan is he just did the absolute best he could with anything. And I think the issue they've got is they need somebody to walk through. Rey Mysterio showing up, going against Neville would be fantastic. It's like, there's nobody who could beat me. And then you've got to run with that, but then you can kind
booyaka.
Yeah, it would work. But we know that with booking, if it's done right, you can turn a jobber into a star. Jinder Mahal is the best example, isn't he?
I'm still not a fan of him.
What are your guys' thoughts on Jinder?
Yeah.
I think that...
It's only because of the 3-man band-aids. I just can't get that out of my head.
I tell you what, that match was terrible, wasn't it?
That great match.
The one where the Cully showed up.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Did you?
Yeah.
I think I would have hated to be a fan in that, because every time they panned back, you just can't see anything in that cage. So that's why the crowd was so quiet. And I think most of them were just watching
I like
on
the
screen.
match because it's different. Remember when TNA only brought out the X Division, the Ultimate X match every few years instead of every 2 months? It's a special match.
But then it defeated the object, and you'll appreciate my point on this. It defeated the object that the Singh brothers couldn't get in when they showed one of the Singh brothers sliding under the cage.
Yeah, Randy Orton.
What was the point?
Randy Orton could have easily fit his entire body through one of the holes if he wanted.
Exactly. Why didn't he just do that?
That was the only bit that made me think this is a bit silly.
I hate it when you have stuff like that. We all know you're suspending disbelief, but when they do something that's so crap, where you're going, oh no, this is nonsense. It just
and when they
ruins
say
it.
it's steel enforced bamboo, when actually it's just 2 steel cages with like 7 bamboo sticks strapped to bits of it. It was a bit silly.
I like that. What you just said, they're steel enforced bamboo. No, it's bamboo enforced bamboo.
It's just
it's just
it
the way
was
you
a
said
bit
it
shit.
just sounded
But yeah, it was.
And the Great Khali should be nowhere near any kind of wrestling ring, regardless of whether they're trying to put over Jinder in India for whatever purpose.
And another interesting thing that I was talking to some people about, guys that are in the business think that Jinder Mahal, it's my mate Tom.
Oh, him.
Yeah,
Tom.
Yeah, Tom. He's from Chesterfield.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Tom from Chesterfield.
Not related to the Chesterfield Ripper.
No.
No, I'm just checking.
More like a Chesterfield plague. The guys that are
Just
in the
trying to
biz
bram it home.
Yeah, you are.
Oh, it's a funny side story. I was trying to not spoil a surprise of a certain ex WWE superstar that turned up at a show yesterday for our friends at #Wrestling. And I said, I've just found out who the surprise entrant is. It says, things are looking grim. And he's like, and he starts talking about a friend whose new gimmick is going to be a guy called John Grimm, I think his name is. Oh, that's that guy's new gimmick. I'm like, yeah, you're not getting this. Okay. I said, let me know when you've got this. And again, he's like, yeah, but let me know who the surprise is. And I'm like, he's not getting this. I said, okay. I said, I'll tell you, just don't make me out to be a Ford villain. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh,
there we go.
Yeah, names, man.
#wrestling. Right
so
there.
the people in the biz seem to be very over in the fact that Jinder, I can't remember what they were calling him, probably his actual name, but Jinder's they think he's doing an awesome job because he's worked hard, he's worked on his physique, and he's got to where he is. Talking to a trainee wrestler on the way to the same show that John. That Grimm was at, and he's like, oh, he's shit, I can't stand him, the whole storyline's shit, it's all shit. And like, the perceptions from fans to people in the business, and this is one of the main things I learned in this car drive that we had, guys, that there is such a big difference between what fans think they know and the guys actually performing night in, night out.
I think he's doing a good job. I think he's taking the ball and he's running with it, and I can get behind him. Anybody who has the opportunity to kick the shit out of Randy Orton is fine by me.
Yeah.
I think it was different because I generally just sat back, and obviously Ball sat next to me is like didn't really want to talk.
Who? You just you just dropped something there.
But I was
Bullshit.
Bullfit.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
I was kind of just sitting back and just listening to them, watching them, and just their whole mannerisms. It was kind of different. Like I say, I don't like Jinder Mahal because I am a fan watching the WWE product. Now, as you say, they were saying he's done really well. When you actually take it from their point of view, he's done phenomenally well. Don't get me wrong. I just don't like the way I'm guessing it's the booking that's just coming in, just the way they've done it.
The general
know what
booking
you mean, yeah.
This 16-year-old kid that we drove to the show, his main kind of thing was he can't win without people helping him. It makes the title look weak. It makes him look weak. And I'd say
that's the point.
That's what I said. I was like, no, it's a heel tactic. It's a heel cheating to win. It's booking 101, but it's making people hate him.
But then they always tend to do that with people having their first WWE runs, especially if they're not sure that they can carry it, because they want to have that excuse to pull it off them at a second's notice. Because who else have they done that with? They did it with Daniel Bryan. The first time he won the title, he was made to look stupidly weak.
Mm-hmm. Dolph Ziggler always had Big E backing him up and stuff like that.
I'm pretty certain that when Edge won the title, he was made to look pretty weak, because he won it off of Money in the Bank, didn't he?
Yeah.
And it's just how they seem to run it over. I just think Randy Orton's not the best person to put him against, because I don't know. They're trying to do the same thing they did with the Hart Foundation back in the day. They were like faces in Canada, and then heels in America. And they're trying to do the same thing with Jinder, where he's a heel in America and a face in India. And it's difficult.
Are they going to India at any point?
I don't know, but apparently they were doing promo stuff saying he's the champion of India and stuff like that with Great Khali. That's why they got him in.
Okay.
I just don't think that's going to work when he's doing all the heelish stuff on TV, because the difference is when Bret Hart was doing the heelish stuff, it wasn't. He was just going, actually, this is the truth. You just don't like it.
That was that. In fact,
that's
whole
why it works. And
that was where the Attitude Era
the
started.
Attitude Area started.
It was really just ran
You're now
over
entering the Attitude Area.
Get your passports and visas ready.
Yeah. I'm still not sure. I'm kind of glad that they've surprised me, because no one thought he was going to win it. And that's another thing I was saying, is I like the surprise.
He's held on to it, which is it could have been a flash in the pan thing, but I think that he's taken it and running with it. I want to see him go against somebody else. I'm worried that SummerSlam's going to be John Cena versus Jinder, and then obviously
John Cena
will get the championship, beat Ric Flair. Although Ric Flair has won more titles than they say, it's just they don't recognise some of them.
Yeah. But then I think if you look at Jerry Lawler's career wins, he's had 60, 70, 80 titles in his time.
I just guess I'm not a fan of the WWE booking system and the stories that they're telling at the minute, whereas I'm much more of a fan of sort of the independent scene. Sorry, it's just because... While I was talking, Scott was looking out the window.
We're both looking out the window. There's basically somebody walking outside in just a dressing gown in your garden.
Oh, yeah, no, she does that a lot. Black hair.
Yeah. It's just, we both double took, like, what?
It's not the weirdest thing we've seen in that garden.
Really?
Yeah. There's an Asian man that goes out, and he's got 2, maybe 3 deck chairs that he sets up. He comes down, he's wearing like a poncho, like a knitted poncho, yellow marigold like washing up gloves. And he sets his like deck chairs up and puts 3 plants on them, and then goes back inside.
Stop the Germans from getting it.
Always wearing a poncho. Always wearing washing up gloves. Sometimes he'll sit and read a book next to them. Sometimes he won't.
A story.
Yeah, it's weird.
Anyway,
yeah.
Wrestling. That sounds like a storyline.
So SummerSlam. Do you reckon They are going to put John Cena over. They can't not.
Looking down the... Oh, shit. I've just seen the... So this is my first time looking at the card.
SummerSlam at the moment, I think that it's going to be a long card, isn't it?
It's going to be like a 12-hour show.
And I think they're massively over-reliant on multi-person matches at the moment.
So far, all we've got is Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman. I haven't had a chance to catch up on Raw, so I have no idea how they got to that point. But that...
It's because he's not finished. Oh,
you know what?
Yet.
So yeah, to me,
I
that
quite
says
like that. Could be good.
To me, that says let's take the title off Brock without having him take a pinfall.
Is Brock ready again? Because he's obviously off. I was going to say
UFC. Brock's allegedly said that he's not going to re-sign, and his contract comes up after WrestleMania 34. So this would be an opportunity to take the title off him.
So basically, Samoa Joe is going to pin Braun Strowman. after Roman Reigns spears Brock Lesnar through a barricade and takes him out of the game altogether.
I think if they're still going to go with this,
write that down on a bit of paper, put that in the envelope. Sorry for cutting you off, and see if that genuinely happens.
So, because then it sets up.
I
Roman
think they're going to
Reigns
hold
taking on
fire for
Lesnar.
Reigns. They're not going to pull the trigger on Reigns versus Lesnar so much because
But the thing is, you've got to think the timeline with Lesnar works so much slower than everybody else because he will lose the title at
Doesn't show
SummerSlam.
up.
We won't see him again till Survivor Series. He'll pop up at Survivor Series and take out Roman Reigns. Then they'll potentially meet in a Royal Rumble match.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, right, that's it. The match is WrestleMania. And then the only two people to have ever beaten the Undertaker at WrestleMania will go one-on-one.
Kai, you can just talk. Don't put your hand up.
Yeah, but I know you two like to talk, and you know. Right, you were on about sort of Lesnar, Roman Reigns, and you just mentioned the Undertaker there. And you reckon Undertaker hasn't had his last match?
No,
Do you think there'll be a three-way at some point?
I'm not convinced because they keep saying. Well, at one point, every time they mention it, it was he's allegedly or presumably finished his career. They haven't said, and to me, it is fucking stupid to not advertise the Undertaker's last match.
Survivor Series, a three-way, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns,
WrestleMania.
Taker,
It's got to happen at WrestleMania.
You reckon? But
It
then
absolutely must happen at WrestleMania, and it's going to be advertised. Surely you can't not.
But Survivor Series is where really the Undertaker really took off.
Oh wait, no, that's a different person in a dressing gown. Kane, we now have two dressing gown people with their washing.
Kane and the Undertaker.
Anyway, sorry, I've just looked out the window and she's gone back, and I've seen her this time.
Excuse me, who do you think would win a match between Lesnar and Undertaker?
But I don't think Taker really now can go one-on-one. It needs to be a three-way so he can have his
I
little
don't see the
rest.
point. I think leave it be.
I mean,
Oh yeah, personally, I think leave it be because I have this bet with you guys.
I think if they were to leave it be, they need to say, because honestly, like right, Ric Flair's retirement match, Shawn Michaels' retirement match, because they were retirement matches, it was such a big draw.
But didn't Ric Flair then go on to TNA?
I
Anyway,
was going to say,
Yeah.
what about Stone Cold? Stone Cold retired and they told nobody.
yeah,
But then he wasn't sure, and it was
No, he was sure.
No, he was sure.
Because,
He said he wasn't coming back. The Rock knew it was his last match.
and is this WrestleMania 19?
Something like that, where the Rock, he put the Rock over because he said the Rock did so much for his career. So yeah, they don't have to announce it. Sometimes,
No, but I just think that it's silly not to.
it's
because
money, isn't it?
it's money on the table.
But then is it up to what Mark Calloway wants to do? Does he really want to
Yeah.
come back, or is he like, no, I think that was
Because
good?
we've seen him lose a match and then leave items of clothing in the ring and walk off looking sad before.
Yeah, he was concussed. That's not.
He
let's
took his
ignore
gloves off and everyone was like, "Oh shit, is that it?" And now he's taking his jacket and his gloves and it's like,
no,
"Oh,
let's be accurate. He put his jacket and hat back on to take them off again
okay."
because he didn't wrestle in them. So that's more of a gesture that he's deliberately done.
But then they're saying, has he just retired the gimmick of the Undertaker, the dead man? Will he come back as American Badass?
No,
That whole
No,
idea
no,
is
no.
annoying, and I don't want it to happen.
I think they need to book one more match and actually book it as a retirement match.
Who would face?
Finn Balor, because I so want to see that.
I
think it would work.
it's-
Phenom versus the
you
Demon.
know it's going to be Roman Reigns.
I would
You
like
know
it
it. You
for old
know
time's
it.
sakes, just for it to be Kane and the Undertaker.
We
Go
said
one
that's
more
come up
time.
in the past, hasn't it? We've
See,
said
yeah,
that.
but
yeah.
I think if it is
Oh, it
going
was
to
a
be his
Brands Warfare
retirement,
question.
if it is going to be a retirement match,
Did I
you're
say
going to
Finn?
have to boost somebody else up on the card.
So Finn
into
Balor
that
as a
slot.
demon.
And there's
But
the
then
Demon.
again, we've been saying that for years.
And when is it going to
Well,
happen?
that's
That's
just
it.
we stuff. Yeah, it's me.
Well, generally speaking, the wrestling community has been saying it for years. Like, why not? That's why they were mad when Roman.
See, but Roman didn't need it.
They were mad. They were mad when Brock beat him because Brock doesn't need the rub. It should have been someone like Owens or Balor or AJ or.
But then it's got to be believable that they could beat
Mhm.
him, and I don't think at that stage in their career that they were believable enough to beat Taker.
Mhm.
And even now, I'm not sure that
No,
they would be.
Strowman, Lesnar.
Strowman would, but
Actually, that top four there: Lesnar, Reigns, Samoa Joe, and Braun Strowman. One of those four.
Oh, Joe beating Taker.
Put him out for good.
Yeah, put him out for good.
but again, does Joe
Joe
need it?
Joe doesn't need it,
Right.
but Joe can do it.
Really?
Oh, Samoa Joe does not need to be.
He
the
does not
Undertaker
need
to
it.
be-
Lesnar's going around saying he's the best opponent he's had in ages.
You've watched him for years on TNA.
When he went on that match against Lesnar, they were cheering him afterwards. The whole crowd were upstanding. and just clapping and saying you deserve it, as opposed to when Del Tuato won the title and the crowd are going, you don't deserve it.
Didn't he get pushed over in India?
Good, I hope so.
But no, I think Samoa Joe, that's a win against Undertaker would push him from good contender for Brock to, okay, shit, this guy's legit.
I think he's already legit.
I think
Lesnar's already pulled him up.
Roman Reigns needed to beat the Taker to get anything.
So do
from
I.
him.
But
I don't think Joe needs it.
The subsequent booking of Roman Reigns has been a bit nonsense, because if he's beaten Taker, he shouldn't have lost against anybody. But at the same time, they can't have him ploughing through everybody and being like a superhero all the time.
Has Roman Reigns gone full heel yet after that whole ambulance thing? Fuck's sake.
Not.
Exactly. That's why.
Because I thought that was a double turn.
So anyway, what other matches we got lined up for
Naomi versus
SummerSlam?
Naomi versus Natalia.
That could be quite good. I think that could be quite good.
Yeah. Well, I mean, but you see, the thing is, Natty is. She everyone thinks like that she's got this reputation of being able to really wrestle really well, but there's no one that can wrestle with her, and I'm not sure if Naomi's the person.
Yeah, but Naomi is quite athletic, so I think that she could probably keep up with her and do it. I think Naomi would go over in that match because, of course, they're just going to merchandise the hell out of her new glowing belt.
And Natalia's always just the good jobber. She's a she's a Tyler Breeze of the women's division.
She is, and she does a job well.
Cool. Who else we got?
Alexa versus Bailey.
Ollie would be in the toilet at that point, cooling down.
I'm not that big a fan of Bailey.
I wasn't on about Bailey.
I like Bailey. I mean, I was not over on her on TV until we went to see that NXT London, and then that was mental.
Loud.
And I had to buy the Bailey T-shirt.
And I told James about that because I was like, "Oh, I think you were you wrestled at that show," and I was like, "That's the best show I ever heard." And I told them how I was watching it on my phone, and they laughed.
But that was off the hook, and I think she is genuinely. I think she's a fan that's doing this because she loves it, and I think that comes across well. So I think it makes for a nice goody two shoes match. I don't know what they're going to do with Sasha Banks. I think there's got to be some kind of potential heel turn type thing going on.
Sasha's probably going to beat Nia Jax in the pre-show like she always does.
No, I mean with that match, because otherwise at the moment it's a straight match between Bailey and Alexa.
Oh, you think Sasha's going to cost Bailey the shot? Okay,
I think that needed to happen.
Because
a couple of months ago?
Nia's are friends with Alexa on Raw at the minute, so you could have some outside interference, and so like Nia is doing something to kind of protect the title. Sasha comes in, and then cost Bailey the title. I mean, it'd be nice to see if they do a heel turn with that. I can't see Bailey turning heel, if I'm honest, at the moment.
But
I can with Sasha.
I think Bailey is the John Cena where she can never turn heel.
Her character at the moment doesn't let her. So I think
there's nothing in her character that says I can be a heel.
That could be a major story development.
So when it does drop,
she would need an entire gimmick change, like Sting going to the Joker Sting, or
but also look at her
Eric
merchandise.
Young.
Her merchandise is very clever. It's all quite. There's lots of quite cheap stuff that kids can afford, and that's who she appeals to.
True. And the only other match we've got down is Jinder Mahal versus Cena or Shinsuke Nax.
Well, actually, SummerSlam poster has Shinsuke on it next to John Cena and Jinder Mahal. So there's a rumor going around it could be a three-way, which is where I'm thinking
AJ in the mix, make it a four-way.
They're trying to put as many people in as they can, but AJ's got the US title, so he's probably going to be defending that against. Well, there's a rumor that Shane O'Mac is going to be facing Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Because apparently Kevin Owens lost the title again this week, didn't he? Yeah,
I haven't seen.
I can't quite remember. And so the idea is that there's going to be a number one contenders match type thing, and it looks like they're going to go into that Kevin Owens, Shane O'Mac non-title type affair, and then you've got AJ defending the title against someone else.
I don't like Shane O'Mac wrestling. I just think he needs to stop. I mean, it's nice watching him.
I would agree with that.
Go into brutal matches. I mean, him and AJ was a good match at WrestleMania. I think AJ was the reason for that.
But I think Kevin Owens can carry him as well.
Yeah, but I don't want to watch somebody get carried by other people. I want Kevin Owens to be up against somebody as equal to Kevin Owens
that he can put on a good match with, rather than just
exactly.
I think it'd still be a good match. I think it would still be a good match.
We all know that Shane will literally do anything and kill himself.
Yeah, like a helicopter dive or something.
To be fair, the match with AJ Mania was probably match of the night.
Yeah,
it was. That's what I mean. It was really, really good.
No, it's a weird one, isn't it?
But then is that because AJ is one of the
and
best?
he can carry him.
Yeah.
Well, Shinsuke on Talking Smack, Shinsuke said Ty Dillinger's a perfect 10, AJ Styles is a perfect 100. Which
Exactly.
That kind of says it all. When
Did he
someone
say
at
it
that
quite
level-
like that?
I think he had an accent, but apart from that, it's pretty good.
AJ Styles, he's 100.
Oh, you heard it?
Yeah.
No, but I'd like to see them maybe do some teasers, like, for example, as you were saying, there's a possibility of having AJ and Shinsuke and somebody.
You know what I've just thought, actually? I know this is
AJ
a
and
really,
Shinsuke is going to be WrestleMania, I think.
really
Yeah,
stupid thing.
no, sort of time that because it is like the second WrestleMania of the sort of the year, if you like.
But I think we got the gift of Jericho on SmackDown, didn't we? So he could still be in the title picture because wasn't I can't remember the ending of the show, which is really bad. But I'm pretty certain that Jericho took the pin to change the championship, which is why Kevin Owens is screwing. You want to say something?
This is a really good factor of how tired I am right now. If this is releasing when I think it's releasing, this is going to be released the Monday before SummerSlam happens.
Yeah, and
We spent all this time talking about 4 matches, and there's going to be the whole card announced by the time.
that's
this
fine
is
because at the time
Well,
of recording, which
okay.
is end
let me
of
let me throw
July.
something in to the women's match, Naomi versus Natalia.
Okay.
What about a Money in the Bank cash-in?
Ooh.
Because I think that could work if you have an intensely physical bout. You know,
Get Carmella in at the end.
get Carmella in at the end. Wouldn't it be quite fun if, like, John Cena did get that glorious reign and maybe Baron Corbin just took it off him 2 minutes later?
Maybe
It's
yeah.
like his record-breaking 17th reign lasted 2 minutes.
But then that makes me think that it could be Nakamura, and then
No, because I think
Nakamura beats Mahal.
I think it's going to be a three-way.
Cash in straight after it because
Could be a
Nakamura and
three-way.
Corbin have got that thing.
It could be a complete three-way. Though,
Could be.
I mean, these are all just rumours at the back end of July, you know. We still
Yeah, it's still at the back end
Yeah.
of July.
But
Stuff going on. Tag titles, are they up for anything?
That's all. That's all.
Are the
Wikipedia,
Hardys going to be broken yet?
that's all Wikipedia says at this moment in time.
And that's notoriously correct.
Yeah. Well.
Well, as we're recording
I
this...
I still can't. So I know the whole court case with the broken Hardys.
So I was going to talk about
and we're
it,
all leading up. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. We know it's going to happen. I still don't think it would have been as big of an impact now because we all know it's going to happen as it was at WrestleMania when they came out. If they came out as the broken Hardys, oh shit! But
At the same
we
time-
all know it's going to happen now. It's like
Well, here's
hopefully.
it. You see, there's the time element. I think that TNA, GFW, whatever you want to call them, the owl twats, are basically just trying to stall because the longer they leave it, the less impact that brokenness is going to have.
and they're ruining it.
But just so people listening in case they don't know, basically the 4 points that GFW had tried to trademark
Yep.
have been rejected by the American courts on
And
various
that is
reasons.
Brother Nero.
Brother Nero,
Broken
because
Matt.
it refers to an actual person, so Jeff Hardy has to give his permission for them to trademark it, which obviously he's not going to do. Broken, they tried to trademark Broken Matt
Brilliance.
Hardy.
Oh, Broken
and-
Matt. Oh, and
But
he-
that again refers to an individual.
Yep.
But Broken Matt was already trademarked by Matt Hardy before them.
Yep.
So there's a conflict.
Broken
of that.
Brilliance, it was said, wasn't necessarily linked to wrestling, and
Yes.
it's just linked
It was
to
a
art.
generic term for art.
And Vanguard one, which they
wants
couldn't
is a
get.
satellite because
Yeah.
it's already been trademarked.
So yeah, I mean,
So that
okay,
in my
let's-
head that means they can. Yeah, they're still going to try and stop them doing it, but that opens up a lot of doors. If they can't trademark it, then how can they own it?
let's sharpshoot the shit out of the Broken Hardys. How would if we're going this way in your WWE? Do you book it exactly like it happened in?
I would book it with
Impact?
how they sort of how they started going into, and they'd have them going into SummerSlam in whatever match you want. Throw as many tag teams in there as you want, and they're about to win. Jeff Hardy decides he's going to do some kind of swanton, which then misses and loses because he decides to do that showboating spot monkey type of a thing.
Are they going to do Jeff versus Matt, or are they going to turn them both at the same time and have them both go? Because that's the
Yeah,
thing.
that's
So remember,
the
it
issue,
initially
isn't it? Yeah.
started.
Yeah.
Matt was broken. He went
then
from Big Money Matt to Broken Matt. Jeff tried to help him and bring it back, and they had the feud. And then Matt got his powers from the deities.
Something like that.
Well,
yeah.
some
See, I was
shit.
thinking they could do something like that because they were trying to do something like that on Raw, where they basically had the Revival come down after a match and beat up the Hardys, and you kind of just wanted to just have them wheeled out of there almost, and then just sort of have them. That's how they got broken again.
Yeah. So
Um,
break them both at the same time and keep them the tag team.
Yeah, because I think it would work But
and
I
that way
have
it's
a
not the same
feeling.
as Impact.
I have a feeling that Vince wants Jeff to be in the world title picture.
What? Because it will piss me off because they are hot at the minute. They get sent down to NXT.
The Hardys?
Yeah.
Oh, come on, no.
Yeah, but when they get back up as the broken, if you get told
break
right, you're
them in
going to go,
NXT and then bring them back. Nah.
or the fact that they've gone down to NXT breaks them and that they start getting a bit mental and they instantly go ape shit. Get all the titles in NXT.
I
back
don't
up
think
with
they
the
can.
NXT titles.
There's a very select list of people I think they can legitimately send down to NXT.
Yeah, because others are going to dwarf whoever's down
That's
there. And
it.
it's pointless.
And unless it's Vince wanting to completely fuck up everything that Hunter's built, I can't see it happening.
But did the Hardys really dwarf the independent scene?
Hardys were doing awesome on the
They
independent.
were.
scene.
Don't get me wrong. They were doing awesome, but that's like saying everybody on the independent
No,
scene
but
is
that's
utter
because
shit.
they were going. Yeah, but they were going into title matches at each of the promotions.
No, that's true.
And they won all the titles.
They were
as
putting
well.
the promotions over as well.
Yeah, they
in
were
a way.
getting.
Yeah,
They're drawing attention to the
'Cause
promotions.
How many big ex WWE or Impact guys do you see now that go on to and put that much emphasis onto whatever indies? Usually, it's like you got Kurt Angle just did What Culture
Yeah.
because it was a fucking huge payday
Was
for
that
him.
his last match? do we
Last
think?
match on UK soil.
Last match.
Advertised at the
I
time.
think it was
Last
his
match on
last
UK
match.
soil. Yep, that
Has
was
he wrestled
advertised.
since? Because I was going to
No.
ask you that. He hasn't.
That was the last match he's had at this moment in time.
Oh, okay. I thought he had one more back over there, but
Don't think so.
Be interesting. That show, that show we went to, Ricochet did an interview about it this past week. 'Cause
Okay.
he said the ropes have broken on him 4 times.
Wow.
And apparently in that match, what's the name of the guy he's facing? I've forgotten his
Will
name.
Ospreay.
Will Ospreay.
Apparently when they're tying up, Will Ospreay said to him, the ropes are shit. And then within 30 seconds, they're broken.
I know exactly what happened with that ring.
And he said in it's his go-to spot is to do a moonsault off the turnbuckle on the floor whenever the ring ropes break. And it goes over every time.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're digressing from what we're...
Well, that's
Talk
but you know the reason why for the ring
what-
break.
Yeah. So, What Culture? There was kind of one of their biggest shows.
Deities did it. It was broken.
Kind of. It was I think it was potentially their biggest show at the time as far as the size of the room they were in, and they felt that they didn't want to use their standard 14-foot ring. So I'm not sure if they bought a brand new ring.
Yeah,
or
they
if
got
it
a
was,
brand new one.
So yeah, brand new 16-foot. And yeah, it was just the way the last month at Sacrifice, the ref that was, I think he might have even been the ref in the match, was down at Sacrifice to call a few just to kind of show some guys the ropes. And yeah, he was saying it was the type of what's the word for the turnbuckle bit? Yeah. So usually it's a hook, but these ones were the iron socket things. And it was that bolt, because it was new and it hadn't been kind of worn in and stretched and stuff, just snapped, just plain out snapped when they hit the ropes. Yeah, no one knew it was going to happen. It was a brand new ring, like you said. Yeah,
just need to be worked in. They obviously didn't work it in.
That's it.
Anyway,
yeah,
broken.
What
were we on about? Oh yeah, the Hardys.
This is what happens when it's a killer sharpshooter style.
That's what I like.
We shoot the shit.
We're just shooting the breeze.
Shoot the shit. Don't shoot the breeze. He's just getting hot.
Yeah, but then
Fashion fast. We like that. Surely we like that, right? Who's trashing the office?
Broken Hardys. So
actually, that's not a bad shout.
No, it's not the Broken Hardys.
Could you imagine if it was though? How good would that be?
To be honest, it's reached a point where you don't care. It's going to be a new tag team though. It's got to be because they've split up any tag team that could have done it.
Yeah.
It can't be Jordan anymore because now his daddy's got him a new job.
Yeah. Oh man.
do we want to go into that?
I so want to see his kids at school when they're going, when can we meet your new brother? And all that sort of stuff from the other kids. That'd be brilliant. So your daddy slept with somebody else at university? I don't know why his teachers would talk to them like that.
Yeah.
But no,
I love that angle, if I'm being honest.
Really?
The angle, see what I did. Just because it's so silly, but...
What, trash in the office?
Oh, no, I was talking about Jason Jordan
I
and
know,
Kurt Angle.
it's got potential. That he's going up against The Miz, allegedly, for the IC title at Summerslam.
Yeah. See, I don't like these people that do this. I almost don't want to hear what allegedly is going to happen, because if it does happen,
we're
spoils
talking
the
about a
surprise.
SummerSlam thing a month before it happens.
Yeah,
so that
but-
it can be released a week before it happens. So we've got to go with a little bit of what's probably going to go on.
No, I'm thinking I'll edit this and we'll release this tomorrow, just to be on the safe side.
I think it'd be quite good to have him go against Miz. I don't think he deserves to win. I don't think he's.
I don't. I want to keep. I don't ever want to see American Alpha split
I want
up.
him. But it's too late, mate. It's happened.
I know.
Get over
I
it.
can't.
I think they needed
American
longer
Alpha
time.
could be in the US title picture on the other program because AJ Styles was putting over. I've forgotten his name as well, but
Chad Gable.
That's the one.
Yep.
Putting him over on the match. Then he's fantastic Olympic wrestler.
He is.
And Chad Gable was always the talented one of the two. Had the personality, and he was the one that was interviewed on Smack Talking.
Not
or
sure.
Smacking Talk.
Not sure about that. I think they both have equal amounts.
I don't.
That's why I like
think if Jordan's going to play it pretending to be Angle, like taking down the straps and all that sort of stuff,
He's been doing it for years.
Got to carry, yeah, but
it's
build
too
it up.
easy for me. It just looks too easy.
It's enough to get him over, I think.
Yeah,
Because I think everyone was expecting Angle to be. Well, it made more sense for him to manage them.
Oh yeah, but I think where they're going to go with this is he's going to get these opportunities from Kurt, and there's going to be a massive heel turn from Jason Jordan or from Kurt Angle. But I think Kurt Angle's too over to have a change. But Jason Jordan just like, I hate you. You're not my dad. You did nothing for me, and all that stuff.
Since Angle came back, it's all they've highlighted really is the comedy. His Hall of Fame spot was very comedic.
Kurt Angle versus Jason Jordan.
WrestleMania.
Jason Angle. Yeah, WrestleMania. Father versus son.
Pre-show.
Oh, actually,
I think that'd be quite a good little match.
Yeah.
Father versus son. Jesus Christ.
Well, God versus Jesus Christ. That's definitely main event at WrestleMania.
That was.
Didn't Vince McMahon beat God?
He did. That's what I was. I was at. It's going off on side shot. I was at the Raw second row where when Vince was in the UK saying that he was bigger than God and all that stuff, and there's this annoying twat next to me who's basically trying to start a fuck God chant, and the parent with the two 5-year-olds in the row in front just turning around and going, "Can you shut him up?" And me and my mate Colin were going, "We're not with him." And then we're just trying to slowly move along because the people at the edge of the road decided they didn't want to go there. We're just slowly sliding along the road so he's on his own.
What a prick.
What a prick. But yeah, Vince McMahon did say he was bigger than God.
Yeah.
And I know we've just done the quiz, but isn't it quite interesting that due to Vince McMahon suggesting there's a wrestling album, we now have Simon Cowell doing shit on Saturday night for talent shows?
Although this quiz may now only be released next week.
Doesn't matter. It's a fact. Simon Cowell.
Tune in next week to find out what happened
yesterday
or happens. Yeah.
Tune in for Figure 4 Radio Extra to find out what happened to Luke for not turning up.
Oh, or did he turn up?
I heard him. He spoke at the end of that.
He may
show.
or may not have been here,
but he didn't do the picture round. So screw him. Yeah, screw him.
Poor Toby back.
Or did he?
Or did he?
Way to ruin a surprise.
Or did I?
You can decide what bits of this guy was.
Yeah.
I was chatting to Toby online.
This whole thing is going out.
I was chatting to Toby online going, right, can you help me on this? Because I need somebody to do this picture round for the quiz because I've been let down by Luke. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. And so he said, can I do it for these ones? So I was like, yeah, but you have to have Macho Man in there because it's bonus round, which he did.
Oh yeah.
And then oh yeah. And then they goes, do you want me to do anything else? I said, I'll just do a short intro if you want. And he comes up with that epic introduction for himself.
Went to town. So now
he did it in 5 minutes. Which is brilliant.
Are you sure you were talking to Toby?
I'm sure I'm talking to Toby. He did it in 5 minutes. So he had that ready.
He's had that ready all his time.
He's had it ready going, one day I will be back. And he's just added that talking bit at the end.
I see he's got a lot of projects on. So SummerSlam, do we think it's going to be any good?
Oh, it's got to be.
Really?
I always say this. It's got to be because it's the second biggest show of the year.
But it never is for me.
WrestleMania is Christmas, SummerSlam's your birthday.
And my birthdays are always shit.
That's because you never tell anybody. Remind them when they are.
Yeah.
It's January or February, isn't it? I've narrowed it down to 2 months.
Well, you're close.
It's coming up in the next 11 months, isn't it?
Yeah, roughly that then. For me, WrestleMania is always the big night. I didn't really enjoy this year's WrestleMania as much as previous ones.
But I think that's because it was aimed at the casual audience. And that's my worry with this SummerSlam.
SummerSlam, they're going that way.
I don't know whether they've got too many pay-per-views. We'll ignore that. It's an argument that we could talk about forever. But yes. I do like the fact that the pay-per-views are targeted to people on the network who are fans who want proper wrestling in it. They want the entertainment as well, but especially SmackDown is really there's some really good matches going on in SmackDown.
Out of the two brands, SmackDown's definitely.
Oh, can we put Randy
the best.
Orton down to NXT?
Yes,
only if he's beaten by everybody.
in a gauntlet match.
Yeah,
in a
sounds-
steel
sounds
cage.
dumb.
Let's
by
have
me.
him squashed by heavy machinery. Literally.
But I think you could do that.
Am I the only one that thinks heavy machinery are fucking awesome?
Yes.
So
yes, you are.
Don't drive while you're taking drugs and use them. What? You're a pharmacist. You should know what that
The
means.
tag team,
Oh,
heavy machinery. I really like them because they've got. It's similar to American Alpha in the way that they can go in the they've got their
where's
gimmick in
Eric?
the ring. Huh?
Where's Eric?
Young?
Yeah.
Don't know, but he's not part of them. But
why isn't he about no more?
I don't know. Maybe he's got an
He
injury.
disappeared for a couple.
Maybe he's got an injury. Maybe he had to go and do something.
Because
Maybe
Sanity could.
Maybe
he's gone back to fishing.
Maybe he's gone
He's gone fishing. Fair enough. What about Asuka? She could be on SummerSlam. That'd be a good shout.
No, I think she needs to stay on NXT until she's properly beaten. Or do you think they're just going to strip her of the title once she goes up?
I think they've created a problem for her in that it's not feasible to see anyone beat her at the minute.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with 205. However, having said that, if they do this Mae Young Classic right, you've suddenly got a contender who could take on Asuka in NXT and allow NXT to go up to the
Will they
main
do
roster.
that though?
I hope so. I mean, if they do what they did with 205 and have their own show, it's going to bomb. And let's face it, Raw, they've stopped doing the rope change now, which I think is good because you don't want to see it as a separate element of Raw. I think they just need to kind of put some names in it. They put Neville in it. Maybe just put a couple of other big names in it.
Rey
Rey Mysterio would be good to get it going. I know he can go into main event, but just to bring it up a little bit, get that
Honestly,
interest.
John Morrison.
He's
Johnny
just
Nitro.
signed with GFW though, hasn't he? Allegedly.
Yeah, is that?
But is that one of
that's
those
his
short
career
deals? Because it could be a
I
short
think
deal.
all
though.
GFW deals are short deals, aren't they?
Well, haven't they got a deal with the AAA anyway? So he's kind of part of AAA, and they're kind of doing bits and bobs
I
for
don't
GFW.
really care.
Yeah,
I'm not even watching anymore. I'm just not interested at all.
it's all right. Alberto Del Twato is being a twat.
I'm hoping he stays suspended.
Yeah,
I don't know how he can though, because they've not actually pressed charges against him. So I know they're going to do their own investigation, but if he took that to like any kind of court being suspended for being arrested for this while they investigated it, and then no charges were brought, they're not going. Let's face it, GFW can't win shit in court.
Yeah,
The deities will not let them.
they will not. Yeah,
how long we been going?
coming up for 50 minutes.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
So any other matches in
About to say, what have we
Summer
actually covered?
SmackDown Slam?
What haven't we got being defended?
Tag titles.
Tag titles.
We don't know
meh.
about.
We got so we think that
IC title.
UK Championship title.
Oh, that would be nice.
That would be
Not
nice.
going to happen.
That
What's
would be
happening with that show?
Oh, actually,
Does
tell you what,
anyone
hang on. Let's quick.
No, because I'm more interested in it because they've done this tournament and they've done a couple of things in NXT, but it doesn't seem.
Do you know what? I will almost bet money I know exactly what's happened.
Go.
They've gone with it because they heard about Ring of Sport,
World of Sport.
World of Sport coming back.
1980.
Yeah.
Ollie.
Ollie.
When did it end?
Ollie.
Check that podcast out
Ollie.
on iTunes and Stitcher. Science
Ollie.
Warfare.
86 or 96? No, I can't remember.
fuck's
Fuck,
sake.
just yeah.
But no, I think that they wanted to do something along those lines. They heard that was coming back, and they kind of panicked and just did it in 2 nights, which was 2 nights of really good
Yeah.
stuff.
Oh yeah.
Then it seems to have just stalled ever since GFW or Impact, whatever you want to do, decided they were getting their hands on World of Sport. If you if you look at the GFW website, it still has the fact that they're in charge of World of Sport, and it's apparently already been filmed, according to their website, because it was being filmed in May.
Okay.
I just don't think they announced that the tapings were canned. NXT Takeover. We have probably almost the whole card announced. Bobby Roode versus Drew McIntyre.
Interesting.
I think that's potentially Bobby Roode's time to say goodbye to NXT and go up.
Okay. I was kind of thinking just a quick sidestep of Drew McIntyre. Drew Galloway going up against Mahal. Obviously, they have that connection there. Anyway, cut that. Go. It's
That
a
could
three-man
work.
band. It's got an angle there.
It
It could
could work.
work. He is a huge star.
Asuka versus Ember Moon. Ember Moon's the strongest competitor yet, but I still don't
I
think...
don't see her beating her. Though.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody beating Asuka. Who's better than Asuka?
Goldberg.
Who is ready for Asuka?
Shinsuke.
That's slightly racist there, Ollie.
I kind of like the Goldberg idea.
Goldberg.
Well,
coming back just
Goldberg
to
against
beat
Asuka,
her.
that's just stupid.
Streak versus Streak.
What sort of
Goldberg
streak are
doesn't
you
have a
talking
streak,
about? He
anyway.
doesn't have one.
That's true.
Go on, who else is on it? Who else?
Authors of Pain versus Sanity.
I tell you what, I cannot get behind Authors of Pain. I don't think they're that good.
They're not. They're green as fuck.
I like Sanity.
I do.
Sanity could do it. I've forgotten the lady's name, the Scottish girl. Sorry.
Nikki Cross.
Thank you. She could take out the other manager. This is how I'm getting tired now.
Paul Ellering. You're
Yeah.
tired? I've driven.
The cat woke me up at 7.
I've driven 600 miles in 2 days.
But you've slept since then. I've driven 90 miles down.
Anyway, so I just don't like. I just can't get behind them. I don't see that they do very much.
It's heels versus heels. That never works out.
Oh, come on. I disagree. I think Hills versus Hills
Have they got any
can work.
face tag teams?
Heavy Machinery. DI, no. American, no. The Revive, no.
What about Enzo IY, the new tag team that's been formed with half of Enzo Amore and Kaz?
No.
No.
The other match, Johnny Gargano versus Cien Andrade Almas.
Pointless match. I don't see why that's happening.
Match.
Why isn't it?
That match screams that Ciampa's going to interfere. Ciampa his knee is fucked.
That's no. I wasn't what I was going to say. Didn't Cien have a thing with dancing guy Jose? No Way Jose. Sure, it's not
yeah.
No Way Jose versus Cien Miller.
It says
Doesn't make
Johnny
sense.
Gargano versus Andrade Almas with Zelina Vega, who is Rosita from TNA. Or her indie name, which
I don't like
was something else.
Cien. Just can't seem to get into
I
his
prefer
character.
I prefer his heel character.
Yeah, I grant you. But I don't see him doing much with it at the minute.
Nah. Yeah, I think we're all starting to sound pretty knackered right now.
No, that's fine. Like I say, I've actually stopped watching WWE product just because I'm getting slightly bored of it and I just want to make my own personal stand. I'm more interested in Lucha Underground. I'm keeping sort of not so much a close tab, but keeping my eye on GFW. For the pure fact it is free and it's on the TV. But for me, it's Lucha
Underground.
Underground.
Thing they've got going for them. Oh, do we want to talk about the fact GFW are doing this these one night only pay-per-views with unseen matches with the likes of Bobby Roode and AJ Styles and stuff like that?
No.
And kind of selling them as though that they're showing up to GFW
Look
for
who we
one night
misbooked.
only. They're doing it on the advert. The advert's got Bobby Roode on it.
Wow.
Saying, what's Bobby Roode doing in GFW?
TNA, we got it right for one night only. Are they seriously doing that?
Yeah, they're seriously doing
Fuck's
that.
sake.
But that's my point. It's like, we don't even have this
Jesus.
talent anymore, and it's better than ours.
Let us remind you how we ballsed up is basically what they're going to call it.
Look at all these
Thank
people
you,
we
Dixie.
could
And
have.
look where she is now in
Yeah.
WWE television.
Suck my Dixie.
Yeah, no, I'm more into the... yeah.
There's a pay-per-view title for you, Scott.
Well, I was actually looking. There's a CD down there called Testicles.
No, it's a band called Test Icicles.
Yeah, that would have been better. That would have been
Pardon
an
me.
awesome
Woo!
title.
And check out what happened on that one in a podcast coming to you.
That's
very,
coming
very
to you
soon.
7 days ago
Today, tomorrow.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, how about this one? That should cover it.
That
should cover it.
That should. Honestly, I'm going to go now and set my iTunes and just look for songs
That could be
that may or may not be used in a quiz last week, next week.
gone.
There was a band called Fuck that released a song called Those Aren't My Bongos.
Those aren't my bongos.
And now, WWE presents
Those aren't my bongos.
I just want to know the inspiration
That's
of
the new name
behind
for the Mae Young Classic.
the pay-per-view.
Those aren't my bongos.
I
Vince bought them for me.
said it and helped get me over. I don't know what he means.
Stephanie McMahon. Those aren't my bongos.
Oh.
The posters just write themselves, don't they?
Yeah. Anyway, this has been a weird one.
Well, I just said let's turn on the mic, shoot the shit, and this is what happens.
This has been a Killer Sharpshooter.
Oh, piss off! Don't put my name on it.
This has been an Ollie Spring broadcast. Brought to you by Figure 4 Radio.
In association with Sharpshooting with the Killer.
Well, Sharpshoot. Well, I can't even remember what it is now. Killer Sharpshoot, I think it was.
If this podcast was absolutely terrible, my name is Luco Mack, and with me I have Luco Mack.
You have been
And
listening
across
to
there-
Toby's Toyboys.
And on that note, check out our actual podcast where we actually think about what we're going to say, and there's some quite good content on there on iTunes, on Stitcher.
Quite good. Yeah, it's all right.
Well, when we're on it, it definitely goes up.
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Depends which ones.
I mean, the Brand Warfare featuring Scott
I
was
do like Brand Warfare.
bloody amazing. It was a 10 out of 10.
That was easy, 10 out of 10.
Anyway, go check them out. iTunes,
Ollie's
Stitcher,
flashing
Podomatic. I'm sure he is. On iTunes, Stitcher, Podomatic. On our website, it's figure4radio.weebly.com. Social media.
We're on social media. Yeah,
we're on social media. I'm an editor. I don't know what it means, but I am one.
Yeah.
Okay, that's facebook.com/
Twitter at F4R_Mastermind. I forgot to say that this week or last week.
That's fine. Or you can go onto the actual Figure 4 Radio Twitter, which is at Figure 4 Radio.
Oh, trust Ollie just to promote himself. Well, you don't want Figure 4 Twitter. You just want mine.
Well, if you want commentary or you just want his voice on some of your stuff or promos,
get in touch.
Yeah, I'm available. Yeah,
I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be at DOA. Going to be at Exposure Entertainment Wrestling, Exposure Wrestling Entertainment, and the Wrestling League.
Are there any shows that you won't do?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
There is one.
Oh, why don't we just interview Ollie? As like a commentator.
There is one that I won't do.
Who's that?
Go on.
I'm not going to say. I've told people who it is that I will not commentate for.
We're friends here.
You know who?
What did Bull have to say about certain people?
I don't think he's ever met certain people.
Okie dokie.
But anyone that's willing to
pay you.
I will.
How much do you charge for commentary? This is quite a good interview.
It depends how far I have to drive.
Well, mileage included then. Ignore mileage. They'll pay your mileage. You're worth it.
Anyone that wants to find out can contact me directly.
How do they do it?
How do they do that?
At F4R_Mastermind on Twitter or the Figure 4 Radio page.
And if they wanted to see samples of your commentating expertise, or listen to samples, I should say, because you're not on camera.
YouTube.com/F4TV.
And will you be willing to drive hundreds and thousands of miles to pick up any wrestler?
I've proved that I would, yes. Yeah.
Are you available if the NXT does NXT UK WWE UK Championship pay-per-view TV with Nigel McGuinness?
Yes, I am. Would you say that's the number one and number two commentators from Britain at the moment?
Well, that's why I think I'd put you on the UK team. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you. I'll take you up on that offer.
They can pay you in laminated pictures of Alexa Bliss.
Wipe clean.
Well, I.